What's up, guys? This is Astranox. Today we got a triple showcase: Cecilia, Maid Chloe, and Axe God. Cecilia, her skill 3 is an AoE, provoke for 1 turn, immunity for the whole team for 2 turns, barrier for herself, scaling off of her maximum health, the damage that is. The skill number 2, attack break. I got defense down as well from her exclusive equipment, removes 1 buff off of the enemy team. Very powerful. Skill 1 now has instead of 50% chance to defense break for 2 turns, it's 75% chance to defense break for 2 turns if the target has attack break on them. So that is cool because it's more reliable and it's a 2-turn defense break as well. Her stats, I mean, nothing crazy to be honest. 237 speed, 97 effectiveness, 2200 health, and almost 1400 defense. So adamant shield on her, and of course the exclusive equipment to have defense speed down for 2 turns. You can have unhealable for 2 turns instead of that one. So Axe God, right? I changed his build. He is more attack based now. He has 15,000 HP, 1200 defense, 283% crit damage, 20 effectiveness only, 3500 attack on Portrait of the Saviors. So what I'm really missing is immunity set on him. Maid Chloe, the same build that I showcased her in Arena, but that's what I changed. Chaos Axe now has more attack. In the Arena showcase, I had him on over 20,000 HP and his attack was too low. So I changed, I believe, the ring and the boots, I went attack percentage, so he hits much harder. So stay tuned for that when his turn comes in the showcase. So in this one, I'm showcasing 3 different heroes, right? Like Cecilia has been really good. I have her at plus 15 skill ups. I have Chaos Axe at plus 15 skill ups. And of course, Maid Chloe as well at plus 15 skill ups. So I went all in so you guys can see how they perform. These are the stats of the other heroes that I bring along with them. It was a fun guild war. It was a hard guild war. Europe server. We're fighting Hero Tail and we are losing by a bit, right? It's burning all over the place. We're ranked 21. Hero Tail has been top like 10 for like before, right? Like they're probably gonna, climb back up. Maid Chloe here. Actually, guys, I had to skip the first battle because it was actually a Charles showcase from the enemy team. It was an Elbrus Ritual Sword showcase. And it didn't showcase Chaos Axe and it didn't showcase Cecilia at all, because the thing is with Cecilia, if the battle doesn't drag on, if the battle is too quick and you don't have someone to strip the immunity off the enemy team, then you cannot have the provoke, the attack break, the speed down. You can't have that happen early on, and that messes up your plan. And I couldn't find the opponents I wanted to find in this guild war, unfortunately, because I actually attacked just before the guild war ended, right? So that was unfortunate. Now in this battle right here, we got Maid Chloe and Adventure Ras, like tanky heroes, very high resistance on my maid. She's providing 40% effect resistance for the whole team from Shimajo staff, 20% from her passive, 20% for a total of 40%. I could have her team-wide memory imprint increase the effectiveness, effect resistance by more. Did I say effectiveness for from her exclusive equipment? From her artifact, Shimajo staff, and her passive, it's effect resistance. Politis goes down. I'm waiting for the cooldown of skill 3 of Maid Chloe to bring her back up with a tag buff. It's rough. Like, you can do things like that. It's just you need patience. And you should have someone else with Maid Chloe that can keep Maid and, that hero as well alive. So Adventure Ras is great because if, let's say, you didn't build high effect resistance, you still have the immunity from the skill number 2 on Ras and on Maid Chloe. And the dual attack allows her to potentially land stun. If there's a stun, then you get the CR push of 15% with her skill number 1. Together, they have high effect resistance. The Shimaja, the passive of Maid helps. Adventure Ras, I have some effect resistance built on him. Politis went down again, man. So I'm just like delaying this just so I can bring her back. So Maid, what I'm trying to showcase is that she's a great hero to make sure that whoever you bring with her, well, you're gonna have a much higher chance to keep them alive. So maybe you're fighting a team that has very high offensive power, but your mate is really tanky, and you feel confident that you're gonna be able to have her use the revive to bring them back up before you kill the last opponent. So that's a great strategy to make sure that you're not gonna be losing some of your better heroes with some of the best gear that you have on them. So the first team here, I'm bringing Chaos Axe, 2 light heroes. Okay, it's iffy. I'm like, man, it's gonna hurt real bad. I'm going with double revive. I have to help this Chaos Axe. I have to keep him in the battle. And, you know, I'm trying to top him off, right? And have the barrier. Let's see how much damage I take from Little Queen Charlotte here. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. And then we got the extra damage on the rest of the team because Chaos Axe is dark. Man, she hits like a truck without even a tag buff. It's ridiculous. So now there's an issue. A misclick happened. I actually pressed on Maid Chloe, but Chaos Axe, he's so big, he's so fat that instead of rezzing Maid Chloe, it actually rezzed Chaos Axe. So here we go, Little Queen Charlotte got popped. Now I got the extra turn, more damage, and you can see the damage is much better on himself. Light heroes, when they attack him, it boosts the combattiveness of the whole team, including himself, by 10%. Very cool, very powerful. 2 light heroes, as long as I keep my team alive, in this case at least Ruel of Light, I am good, right? So it's really rough. Like, I have to keep my Ruel alive, because if she doesn't stay alive, we are done. So at least with Ruel alive, I can, you know, get my team back up. So thankfully, you know, Arbiter Vildred didn't trigger greater attack buff. I don't know if I would have actually went down. I mean, I'm full HP. I would have took more damage. There's no Aureus, of course. But now's the time to bring back Maid Chloe the way it was supposed to be initially. So I bring her back, right? And now I can bring my Chaos Axe back in the battle, and I can take this stupid Arbiter Vildred out. But yeah, this was a good showcase of, yes, I abused double revive, of course. Even if I pressed and I actually revived Chaos Axe instead of Maid, so I can revive Maid and then Chaos Axe afterward. It still worked out in the end, right? So the damage is much higher out of Chaos Axe with that build. His damage is actually scaling more off of his attack than his health. I was told in the comment section, because players saw his multipliers, which I actually haven't seen from the data mine yet. But yes, it's better to actually have more attack than health on him. Just make sure he's tanky enough to be like a, you know, on a bruiser build, right? There's still some HP scaling off of his skills, but most of it is going to be from the attack. And he's got that passive boosting his attack over time. With attack buff, he really like can hit like a truck, especially versus light with that 40% defense penetration. So here, I'm taking quite a bit of damage. I was able to redirect their attention with Fairy Tale Tenebria. Actually, it was only on what is it, Tempest Siren, right? So here we go. She cleanses with the greater attack buff. My God. And I took a beating, man. Like, at least my heroes are tanky. Like Cecilia, she's on Adamant Shield. If she was on Aureus, she might be close to dying, actually. So it's not too bad sometimes to have your knight on Adamant Shield and not have, like, even if you don't have 2 knights, one on Aureus, one on Adamant Shield, it helps. It helps. Even though she gets the barrier when she uses skill number 3, sometimes it's not enough, because if the squishier your heroes in the rest of the team, the more damage redirection will come toward the knights carrying the Aureus. So it's just too much damage to... it's just, you can't keep up. Like, you're just gonna go down, you lose that hero, and then the battle fall apart, right? But with Adamant Shield, it's just damage reduction. It's not damage redirection. So here, the crippling of the attack break and speed down, it's great, but it doesn't stick on Tempest Siren because she's OP, of course, with the cleansing every turn when she's under 70% HP. So man, it is really tight here. It's super tight. She already triggered her passive, so now I was able to you know, debuff her, but it's not enough. You know, Alencia couldn't survive this. So here we go, man. 1 versus 1 here. I get the barrier from her skill number 3. Tempest Siren, just like she lost the debuff, so she's hitting as hard as she can without the... She didn't have... Wait, she did have greater attack buff. I remember that. But I had barriers, so I was able to take that damage. That was huge right there, right? That was really huge. And Cecilia was able to cripple the enemy team. I mean, it was good, because they would have dealt much more damage if she didn't. But sometimes if you're able to get that attack break to stick on the enemy, especially now with the speed down from the exclusive equipment, or maybe the unhealable, like that stuff will help a lot. Now you soul burn the skill number 2 and you're able to cycle much faster. You can use skill 2 every turn with constant soul burn for 10 souls, and your skill 3 is going to be up faster because you got minus 2 turn cooldown on skill 3 as well. So you can cycle skill 3 and 2 like crazy if you have the souls. And she is super powerful if you can do that. Now, the problem is that the weakness is at the start of the battle. Because they might have immunity, right? So you need someone to strip. So that is an issue. So here, the single target damage versus a non-light hero on defense buff. And that was a mage. Vivian is a mage with high defense, base defense. So, of course, I only dealt like 6,600, something like that. Still pretty good. I do have attack buff, but if it was a light target, there would be 40% defense penetration. So keep that in mind, guys. So here, I mean, Polida is going to go down from the Horse of Crow, but it's okay because Mage can just like, I can delay it and I can bring her back, Politis, with Maid. Unless there's, of course, a hero with Extinction, but that's not the case here. So I really like the rework, I mean, the buffs of Maid. She's working really well. And the constant healing for the... Look at that. The dual attack, of course, right? Like Kayron dual attacks. There goes my Chaos Axe. But it doesn't matter. I can buy time and just bring the whole team back up with Maid. And that works real well. 3v3, especially 4v4 format. It's definitely a game changer when you use that skill 3 and you bring the whole team back up with attack buff. Like, it's not only bringing the team back up. It's bringing the team back up with attack buff. And you can soul burn her skill 1, so you're able to have another chance to maybe use the skill 1, so skill 1, or skill 1 into the skill 3. That's great because you healed, and then the skill 3, of course, revive buff with attack buff, or just straight up revive them with 20 HP and the attack buff for 3 turns. Another big thing is the 3-turn attack buff. So, I mean, the whole kit of Maid, especially with the, you know, Shimaja staff, 20% effect resistance, plus the passive, 40% effect resistance, plus if she had her team memory imprint of effect resistance, now you can get over 50% effect resistance. And if you have a whole team of sort of like bruisers, you know, that sort of scale off of attack or something like that, and they have a decent amount of effect resistance, that amount that she brings could be what pushes your team to a level where the debuffs are not landing on them. And that is huge right there because you don't have to worry about cleansing. And of course, you know, guys, how powerful debuffs actually are in this game. And if they're not landing, that's definitely a game changer right there. You know, you can change your team composition, and it's not going to be in the back of your mind, oh man, I can land those debuffs, I need a cleanser, I need to bring a cleanser. You don't need that spot in the team, so you can fulfill that spot with other hero, damage healer, some utility, whatever it may be. You don't need to worry about that if you're building a whole team with high effect resistance, right? And the Maid Chloe's 40 with Shimaja staff up to like 50 plus effect resistance, that's pretty sweet because if you hit that spot of like 150 up to like 200, that's 50 effect resistance is going to be a big deal, right? So it really depends who you're fighting, which league you're in, but the higher you are, the more effect resistance you will need because the enemy will have a very high amount of effectiveness, right? So unless they have ignore effect resistance on their hero or heroes, that could definitely be a problem. So yeah. Now here in this battle, I got my Karik to deal a ton of damage, and he has the exclusive equipment that actually gives him attack buff when he uses skill number 2. So he is self-sufficient, he's in stealth, and Cecilia is great here to cripple the enemy team, right? Keeping that attack break, even though like there's only really like Apocalypse Ravi that deals like much more damage based on attack, right? Compared to Alencia, but they all have scaling based on attack, so that attack break does come in handy. the constant like dispelling from her AoE, her skill number 2, which unfortunately happens, of course, after she lands the debuffs, because that would be too OP, right? Especially on a skill number 2 that can be soulburn to reduce cooldown by 2 turns of all her skills, right? That would just be too good. So yeah, she's definitely a very powerful hero. You can you know, redirect the attention onto her with those constant provokes. If you get that stuff, that soulburn going, it really cripples them hard. And you can use that on a hero like hiding in the shadows, sort of like a Landy, which I've used in the past and I've showcased that in the past. Of course, Cecilia didn't get the greatest of buffs, but I feel like that really brought her to a nice level, right? Like that defense break with a 75% chance versus an attack broken hero instead of 50. That's huge, guys. That's 50% more chance to actually land defense break, like 50, like 75 versus 50, right? Of course, it's 25%. No, 50 to 75 is actually 50% more than before. You understand math, right? So it's actually really good, more reliable. I love it. Effectiveness, you need to sort of like have a nice amount on her. I would say like at least around 100 effectiveness, if not more, depending on who you're fighting. But yeah, really like her performance and pretty much everyone's performance. And we're still not winning. Someone took out a building, but that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.